Right, this is day 3 of 10.6. For today's lesson, you are going to have to do an IXL lesson in which you need to make sure, just like yesterday's IXL, you need to write down the questions and submit your work for the IXL. So let's go ahead and get started on this one. For this one, now we're going to be talking about multiplying and dividing. Now it works the same exact way. The only thing that's different is that now you're going to be doing a different function. So here for number 1, I have negative 3x squared plus 3 times negative x. So I have negative times a negative, negative times a negative is a positive. Here I have 2 x's and then one more, so that means 3. So 3x to the third. A negative times a positive is a negative. 3 times x gives me negative 3x, and that's your answer. For number 2, I have negative x squared times negative 3x plus 1. A negative times a negative is a positive. I have 2 x's here and 1 x here, so that means there's a total of 3 x's. So I have 3x to the third. A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times x squared is just negative x squared. And that's your answer. For the next one, I have negative x plus 3 times 5x plus 6. Now I know most of you guys like doing the box for this, and that's perfectly fine with me if you want to do the box. So negative 3x, and then I have negative x, and then I have 3, and then I have 5x and 6. So 5x times a negative x, a negative and a positive is a negative. I have 2 x's here, so this is 5x squared. 5x times 3x, 5 times 3 gives me 15, and I have 1x. 6 times negative x, a negative and a positive is a negative. 6 times x gives me 6x. 6 times 3 gives me 18. Keep in mind, I need to do the like terms. So 15 minus 6 gives me 9. So my answer here would be negative 5x squared plus 9x plus 18. And this is my answer. For number 4, now we are going to divide. So I'm going to take my numbers. I have 2x squared minus 13x minus 7 divided by, oh, I wrote it the wrong way, I'm sorry. I need to do f of x first. F of x is x minus 7. G of x is 2x squared minus 13x minus 7. Now, you guys should remember how to deal with this. For the second one, you have your A as being 2, B as being negative 13, and C as being negative 7. Keep in mind every time that you have a number here that is greater than 1, that means you need to multiply your A and your C. So 2 times negative 7 gives me negative 14. So I need to think, what times what is going to give me negative 14, but when I add it together is going to give me negative 13. The number that you should think about is 14 and 1. Now, keep in mind, because I need the 13 to be negative, that means my negative needs to be where the 14 is. So I'm going to rewrite this. I have 2x squared minus 14x. Oh, I'm going to switch them. I'm going to put the 1 here. Plus 1 And then I have negative 14x minus 7. So here, the number that, or my GCF that I could pull out is going to be x. So I have 2x plus 1. And then over here, what I can pull out will be the negative, and then I'm going to pull out a 7. So that will leave me with 2x plus 1. So remember, outside goes with outside, inside stays the same. So now I have x minus 7 over x minus 7 times 2x plus 1. Now notice here I have x minus 7 and x minus 7. Those two could cancel each other. So my answer would be 1 over 2x plus 1. And that's my answer. All right, let's look at number 5. For number 5, it says 4x squared over 5x minus 2. So I need to see what it is that I have. For this one, there's really nothing that I can pull out of either one of them. When there's nothing that you can pull out, then that means that that is your answer. There's nothing more that you can do as far as your answer goes. All right, for number 6. Number 6 says x squared minus 3x minus 18 over x plus 3. So again, I'm going to do the same thing like I did for number 4. I'm going to find out my a, b, and c for the top part because the bottom part doesn't need it. So my a would be 1, b would be negative 3, and c would be negative 18. Because my a is 1, I don't need to do a times c. I simply need to find out what times what is going to give me a negative 18, but when I add it, is going to give me a negative 3. So if I think of all the numbers that multiply together that give me 18, I know it's 1 and 18, I know 2 and 9, and I know 3 and 6. 3 and 6 is the number that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 and 6. And then I need to remember that this is a negative 3. And if I want this to be negative, then that means the bigger number needs to be negative. So I'm going to put x plus 3, x minus 6 over x plus 3. Here, because both of them are the same, again, they could cancel. So my answer is just simply x minus 6. And that's it. So again, like I stated, for today's assignment, you need to do the IXL lesson for multiplication of functions. Make sure that you write down all of the questions from the IXL along with your work and upload it to where it says IXL multiplication functions. If you have any questions, please make sure that you contact me either through Edsby, my cell phone, or on Zoom. Have a good day.